Hello, crew. It is the Sabbath, Sabbath, Saturday the 16th, no, 17th of October. My computer still says it's the 16th because it's on Pacific Coast time in the United States. So it's actually 10:30 p.m. in Pendleton, and it is 8:30 a.m. here in Haifa. So I'm gonna make a quick video here to respond to your video and try to get it up because we have pretty good internet connection here at the place where we're staying, which is the Malata Guest House on Mount Carmel in Haifa. So here's a little look around our room before I start talking. There's Sarah. She's writing. Here comes somebody to probably check the phone charger. Oh, it's Isaac.
Need your battery?
No, I just wanted to be a little bit.
Okay.
So, I'm going to go through. Took some notes on your video, and I'm going to try to respond point by point. I'm going to try to make it fairly quick because I'm not sure actually uploading. I'm already a minute and a half in here. Anyway, pilgrimage is going great. Having a wonderful time. I sound a little rough. It's because I've been sleeping. I have been a little congested, but healthy for the most part. There's been a cold going around, but I've been feeling pretty good. Been doing a lot of singing, actually, which is really nice. I've been going finding spots in the garden where I can sing. You started off asking about Iceland. Actually, you started off complaining about texts and flies, which I think sounds like a great short story, Texts and Flies. I don't know, you ought to think about it. Iceland, the waterfall that we went to, the big one that falls into a crevice and turns 90 degrees, is called Gullfoss. Foss, I believe, in Icelandic means waterfall, so they're all named something Foss. But Gullfoss, which means gold falls, and it's massive and beautiful. And yes, there were a lot of tourists around. I was kind of surprised as well. And we saw lots of people from all over the world were there. And when I say lots, it wasn't like absolutely packed, but there was a good number around the first day. The second day, I don't know if you've seen that video. I assume you have now. We just kind of drove around and went to all kinds of different places and didn't see any tourists. So the places we went on the first day were the big tourist stops, the ones that are all documented. Second day, we drove around and went to some other waterfalls and and some you if you saw the video, you saw. And we didn't see virtually any tourists on the second day. Actually, we saw very few other people on the second day, which was awesome. The airport was very congested, and actually it's funny because we got up early to go to the airport, and the lady in our hotel was like, we were getting ready to leave, and she was like, you need to hurry, you're gonna miss your flight, they're really bad. And we got there, and yes, it was really bad, but the funny thing was, so we go in to get our tickets, and somebody initially shuttles us to the front of the line because we have children, and then the lady who was serving was really not happy because she was like, you should only do this if you have infants. And we're like, we didn't ask to be brought to the front line. The lady told us to go here. And so this one woman wouldn't help us, and then another person finally did. But then because Brad and his kids all have backpacks, they're non-standard luggage, so they had to go to another line to check in their non-standard luggage, and that line ended up taking probably an hour to go through, and so and basically somebody at the very front of the line had a huge box with wheels on it that was super heavy, and it wouldn't fit through the machine, and they spent half an hour with the line not moving, just trying to get this box through the machine, which was absurd. And then finally they got through, and we got up to our gate just about the time they started boarding. So we weren't really worried, but it's one of those things. I'm 4 minutes in. I got to get moving here. Place Names Atlas. I'm so excited about it, and actually, it's really cool. Last night I got on Facebook, and there's a whole bunch of tribal members posting about how amazing it is and how they can't believe it's finally out. and they're so excited about it, and really, really positive stuff. Lots of really positive buzz about it, which is really exciting as well. So I'm glad that's happening. If you want to get one, I think I told you before, I'm supposed to get 3 complimentary copies, and I'll send you one. But I only got one initially, so if I get a couple other ones, I'll send you one. If not, you can order it through University of Washington Press or through Tamuslicht if you go to their website. The Bullets and Bluegrass, last weekend in September, we'll try to figure out what's going to happen then. I think I told you we're going to Ireland in early September, but it would be really nice to come out and visit you. We got to figure out a couple times to get together this year, so that could be one of them. And we are doing a lot of traveling this year. But you know what? Until I don't want to do it, or we don't have the money to do it,
That'll be soon.
we're gonna do it. Yeah, Sarah's sales are down in October, so she's freaking out. But every October her sales are down. So that's how it goes. Campervans you asked about. So yeah, Sarah and I have had a lot of conversations about campervans, probably way more than she would like to have. So we kind of have talked about what we want, and I want to be able to travel and do hikes, but also travel around. I want to take the hidden words around to different communities and do little devotional stuff with the hidden words. And that's easier. Plus, we'd like to take, a trip down to actually the southwestern United States at some point and do some stuff like that. So there is kind of a conflict of what we want, in that Sarah wants kind of a home, and I just want a place to crash. And we have talked about the fact that I could just get a cheap van and convert it, put a little bed in the back myself. But we've decided that we kind of want to do stuff together in it. And if we were going to do that, I could just drive the van she's got now, the Previa. Or it's not a Previa, it's a Sienna. So we've been looking at, I like the Winnebago Travato, which is it's just a van conversion. But she feels like that's too small. So she likes the Winnebago Trend, or we were looking at the Dynamax Rev, which is a different one. And so we're just kind of looking around and trying to figure out, and we're not going to, when we get back, we'll start looking more seriously, but I'm not sure what's going to happen. We may not get one at all, or, we may end up with, I don't know. And even the bigger ones that she wants are, they're on the small side. They're like 23 feet long, which is not a little bit bigger than a Suburban, a couple feet longer than a Suburban. So anyway, we'll see what happens with there. I'm not too worried about it, but it's, I like the process of looking stuff up. So the big hike, you're asking about Scott's dogs. So Scott, unfortunately, Scott was only able to bring one of his dogs, or maybe fortunately. Pearl, the lab, Truman, his big old hound dog, had cut his foot trying to escape from his pen, and so he wasn't allowed to come. But Pearl came, and he didn't bring food for her. We had to make sure she got water, but he's like, yeah, she doesn't need any food on a hike like that. And I figure she's traveling at least twice the distance we're traveling on that trip, because she's like up and back and up and back and down the hill and up the hill and all around. So, I mean, dogs are just way more efficiently built than humans for traveling around like that. So, yeah, she was fine. She was tired by the time we got back to the truck, but it was good. She wasn't, there was nothing going on. So, yeah, no food for her. Your news. I watched your running video, and it's exciting that Preston did well in his last race, and I can't wait to see how the rest of the season played out. Exciting, Colleen's getting faster. Yeah, it's nice. Actually, it's really cool that Preston has a bunch of kids to challenge him. That they're all, because I imagine that they're all getting a little faster by running together. So that's fun. Rotary Exchange, Juliet and Joaquin. Cool. I'm looking forward to hearing about Juliet and Joaquin, and also hear how Preston's interview went. You said he's going to the Faroe Islands. Is that
Marshall.
Marshall Islands?
No, Faroe Islands, it was Marshall that interview.
Marshall?
Who's going away? Is it Marshall or Preston?
Preston.
Oh, it's Preston.
Preston.
I'm sorry. I interrupted.
So,
I
yeah,
apologize.
anyway, I don't know. So yeah, I'm curious to see how that goes, and how would that affect his running? Does he care? I don't know. Can he run on an island? I don't know if that island's big enough for him to run. More information, please. Hunting. I'm dying to hear how it went. Did you kill anything? Did Colleen kill anything? That's what I want to know. Cruise accident. So what happened with Carew? So the story that he told us and is that he was driving along and he had his whoops, sorry about that. And he had his coat on and he was getting warm, and so he took off his coat and he tossed it onto the passenger seat, which is the kind of thing, he just throws stuff around rather than setting stuff gently. I'm being dramatically critical. I don't know. Anyway, and then he realized that this coat that he had just bought this weekend was brand new, was on top of his leftover food, which was kind of in a box, but he was worried it would spill on it. So he was reaching over to get the coat, trying to move it, and he went on the rumble strip. And basically he panicked a little bit. This is what he told us. He panicked a little bit, and he jerked the wheel back and started the car into a skid. And he had the cruise control on, and so it whipped him around a little bit, and he ended up, and then he hit. I don't know if he hit the brake or not. It wasn't clear to me on that. So anyway, then he's ended up spinning into the median. So that's the story that I heard. Don't know, exactly what was going on, but he's really like, oh God, if I just gently moved back and it wasn't even that, I wasn't going to hit anything. And it's like, yep, it's one of those things. So anyway, by the way, he did not decide to put any money back in that car. Actually, I kind of encouraged him to think about not getting a car for a while until he really needs one, because he can borrow our cars while he's living in Pendleton, and nothing says freedom like having money in the bank. And actually, he ended up getting a bunch of money up for the car, way more than I think we could have sold it for, which is weird because it doesn't usually work that way. He got about $5,500, $5,700 out of it, which, it had 120,000 miles on it. And the battery in the hybrid was about, the lifespan is only, supposed to be like 130,000 on that. And then that's like a $3,500 expense. So I think he, weirdly, I think he may have done really well with this. And it's funny because we looked up, the Blue Book is way lower than that. But they found comps, I guess, in the Portland area, which is the other interesting thing. I suspect that those cars are more valued in Portland than other places. Who knows? Let's see. Yeah, we saw my drama teacher. She's in a writing group. She's written a couple books, and so she wanted to see She wanted to have Sarah talk to her writing group. So it was kind of nice. Yeah, that's all the story is to that. And you can make your snide comments all you want. I'm ignoring them. The multi-rotor vehicle is hanging on the wall in my office with two broken props, or not props, but boom arms. And I will get back to that at some point, but it just got too busy and I didn't have time. So I got to get that thing back in the air. The hidden words I think are going okay. I know I've sold some, but I don't actually get sales reporting for like 2 months from Amazon and iTunes. So I have no idea what's going on there. I've sold like 3 or 4 that I know on CD Baby. And we'll just see how it goes. I'm not actually worried about. I want people to listen to him. people who are interested in them to be able to find them. That's my goal. So I don't really care how many I sell per se, but I just want to make sure if people are interested, they can find them. So yeah, but I'll let you know as more information comes in on that. Kent, I will email Kent as we get closer. Actually, I should probably email him fairly soon because I think today's Saturday, and we fly back on Wednesday, or is it Tuesday, Sarah? Wednesday. Wednesday. So we're gonna be flying in. So it's gonna be, we're still a few days out, but I'll email him and set things up. So anyway, I'm over 15 minutes now, but I'm gonna try to. And actually, maybe what I'll do is I haven't taken a lot of video of our stay here, but maybe I'll pop in some pictures that I've taken over the top of this that you will have seen. So anyway, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Bye.